Hey everyone, Stirlingkit sent me the new Yu Xiang Little Bird attack helicopter. It's the 250 size helicopter. It's got optical flow, GPS positioning, altitude hold. It's got a direct motor drive. It's got a two-way return. But yeah, it comes in this nice little case. So let's take a look at it. I know that there's been some reviews already with the black one. This isn't the black one, so we're gonna take a look at it. Also, it came with these two pilots that they threw these in here, the 1/25th scale, and then they've got, and we'll get some close-ups of them, but you know, they got some different little things you can dress them out with. So I guess they could either be pilots or door gunners, you know, guys that can get on there and jump off or whatever, or fly with them, you know, whatever they do. That's pretty cool. So anyhow, so we're gonna take a look at what's in the box. So this is the police version. This isn't the black version here, but let's kind of start pulling things out. All right, so this is nice and protected. All right, so I'm gonna get the easy stuff first. So here is the transmitter here. All right, and so this looks nice. Okay, and it's Stirlingkit branded from Yu Xiang. Okay, so we're gonna set this to the side. Okay. All right, so here is a charging adapter. Is there anything else in there? Okay, this looks like a European plug. Yeah, which I don't need. I think this is going to be for, yeah, it's a charger. All right, what's this? Okay, so that's the battery charger. So it's going to go with this, and I don't need this. I don't need that adapter, so these will go together. Okay, so before we pull the heli out, let's look at this stuff right here. All right, tools. This bad boy is already wanting to stab somebody. Very nice. So we'll use the tools to put the heli together. Okay, set this to the side. These look like the landing skids. Okay. All right. They actually seem very flexible. All right, here's the other one. All right, so is there anything else I can pull out? It is negative. Okay, so let's pull this heli out. So they're nice and secure. Okay. Oh wow. That's solid, it's heavy. Okay. I like that. I like the rotor blades and the tail blade here. All right, so let me stick it right here. Don't fall back in. You don't have any landing skids on just yet. Let's just get a look at you. Okay, spin these rotor blades out. Don't be a little cattywampus. Okay, wow, that is pretty. So this is the red and white police version. What is that? Metropolitan Police, Las Vegas. Yeah, they're not going to let you leave anything behind in Las Vegas, so don't believe what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Because, all right, so this is really nice. All right, so let's look at the details of this, because you know it's kind of hard to pick up in here because this video obviously, but in real life this is very well detailed. You can see, you know, the rivet lines. Let's see here. I think these doors open. So we'll get in there. Let's put this thing together. Let's do an inspection on here, because I like to put this thing up on its feet. So we'll come back in just a few. All right, real quick, down here there was this bag, and I didn't see it, but it comes with an extra set of rotor blades and another tail blade. So that's great. So you get an extra set of blades, and they're very solid. All right, let's take a look at the pilots. So they're obviously the same two pilots, but you can customize them how you want. They have all of the customizable gear that you can add to them. So that is really nice. So we'll pop these open here after a while and see how we can bling out this helicopter that they're going to go with. One thing that I would like to point out is this is the battery right here. So the battery, it has two black tabs right here, and so basically what you do is you pull them together and then it just pops out. And so what's important about that is there's no wire or anything, other kind of mechanism to secure this into the fuselage of the heli. And so what happens is you squeeze this, and and it pops out. And we'll go over this when we take this out to the field. But what's important is that when you put your battery into the fuselage, on each side of the fuselage, there's these little slots that these tabs pop into. And when you pop it in, you can be deceived. So be mindful. So when you pop it in, you hear a click, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually secure. So you heard the click, so you can see that I'm not squeezing it, and I'm popping it out. So when you put it in there, make sure that you get it in there and you push these in. Now, see, now it's secure. Because what could happen if you don't do a good pre-flight on your heli is when you're flying, your battery, since it's not secured any other way except for this, and this is a good secure way, but what I'm fearful could happen is when you're flying, the battery could fall out, and then you lose power, and then the heli is going to fall out of the sky. And depending on how high it is, it could damage the fuselage, and then you're out of a nice heli. So yeah, just be mindful of that. And when you pop the battery in, make sure it's secured. So there you go. One of the other things is that I think we pointed out here, your doors, you get your little latches, and then they pop open. And then here we go. Bam. And look, there's little pilots in there already, all kind of moved around. Not shaking. I haven't secured them in there, but you got those little pilots in there. We'll secure them in there. I'll use some double stick tape or something so that they can be in there flying the heli. But yeah, so there's nice detail in the heli. This is really nice. So when we get it out to the field, we'll go over all the different flight orientations that it has, the figure eights and flying around in a circle, the return to home. So I'm really excited to get this out here to the field and fly it. So we're at the field now, and we're going to fly the Yu Xiang MD500 Little Bird. So what I want to show you real quick is the transmitter. We don't have the helicopter turned on yet, but this thing has a full color display, and I don't know how well you can see it because it's bright outside today. But it has several little things here that it does show you. It's going to show you the transmitter battery power, and it's full. And then it also shows you the receiver power, or the signal strength that it has. And then right here in the middle, it's going to show you the GPS satellite locks that it has. But here in the center, it's going to show you the the compass heading that the helicopter has. And this is what I want to point out. We're at a new field. This is the first time that we're going to power this up. And so what the manual says to do is to calibrate the compass on the helicopter as soon as we power it up. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we already have the transmitter powered up, and now we're going to come to the helicopter here, and we're going to power it up, and we're going to do a compass calibration. So as I said earlier when we were back in my shop, is we want to make certain on pre-flight that everything's good, but most important is that this battery is secured and locked in so that it doesn't fall out. So we want to make certain these latches are all the way in and that this battery can't fall out. So it is. And everything else on this pre-flight here is good. So we're gonna push this power button here. Hold it 4 seconds. Okay. All right. So let's calibrate the compass. And so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these 2 sticks. This is a mode 2 transmitter. So I'm gonna take it and we're gonna hold it like this. Okay, so you can't, it's kind of hard to see, but this backlight here now is blinking green, so it wants to calibrate the compass. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick this up and I'm gonna spin it around. I think it's supposed to change. That should be enough. And then we're going to hold it down like this. Yeah, and it just beeped. So I think it's good. Yes, it just initialized. The light's now red, so the compass has now been calibrated. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to show you here that, if you want to come here closer, I'll show you here that this now has a heading of north, and that is correct. That is north. And I'm going to move the helicopter, and as I move it, I'm going to point it towards west, and that's west. I'm going to point it towards south, and that's south, east, north. So yeah, so that is really a nice feature to have. And also we have a satellite lock now. We've got 17 satellites, and that's good. And this button right here is the rates, and right now by default the rates are on low, and if we push this button, it'll make the rates high, but I'm gonna put them on low to start with. And then we have these buttons right, or these switches right here, and this switch here is when the helicopter's flying, it'll fly in a figure 8, and then if we push it down, it'll make it go in a circle, and the circle will be in a nose-in circle. It'll be a wide nose-in circle. This right here, the auto mode, is going to be where we're gonna start it off at first. We'll switch over into manual. We're gonna leave this right here in the motor and unlocked. If we don't want to flip it down into lock mode while it's flying, if we do that, the helicopter is going to drop out of the sky. So it says danger here. So we want to be careful not to flip that switch there. And also we're going to be flying this right here in the GPS mode. All right, so let's go ahead and take this for a flight. Okay, so we're getting ready to start it up. It's quite breezy out right now, so we want to make certain this switch is in GPS mode. This has LiDAR in it, but we do have satellite lock, and we're not going to use the LiDAR because we have satellite, plenty of visibility for the satellite, so we're not going to use the LiDAR. So, all right, to start it up, we're going to take the two control sticks and we're going to go out. All right. Okay. We're going to try to fly to scale as we can, and we're going to slowly lift it up. All right. All right, this is nice. Let's see what we got. It's in GPS mode right now. So it's flying in low rates. And it's got a nice little front light. We got a crosswind on us, so we got the nose in the wind. So when it's flying in GPS mode, this is kind of almost like flying it as a drone. Well, it's handling this gust of wind really nice. If you can look in the cockpit, you can see those two pilots in there. I'll get it up close to you in the camera. And that is very pretty. This is handling nice. Let's take a look at and see how the blade tracking is, because this is coming straight from the factory, straight from Yu Xiang and from Stirlingkit. Look at this. It's handling that gust of wind just superbly. And tracking is spot on. All right, we can fly it around here. Now, when you're new into flying RC helis and you want to fly it in the GPS mode, I mean, helicopters like this right here are really good to practice your RC heli training and get that, start developing that muscle memory when you're learning to hover. To help you, these are like, to me, like gateway helicopters. Start graduating into the bigger helis, and these are just nice. Or they're just fine if you just want to stay around in these. And this is just really nice. And it's handling that gust of wind like it's not a problem. All right, so let's see what it does. Still in low rates. This is such a pretty helicopter. All right, so I'm going to put it in high rates real quick. Still in GPS mode. Okay, yeah, now it's opening it up. I don't want to get it too far away from us. All right, let's bring it back to us. Okay, so I want to put this in manual mode. Now they call this manual mode, but it's not a true manual mode because it's still limited bank angles. So and it's still a stabilized flight. So since I'm new to this, I'm gonna go ahead and land it and try it from fresh. And if you're a new pilot, a new RC pilot, it's always good to land with the nose pointing away from you. So let's do that. Let's land on my fancy landing pad, aka doormat. I use a doormat because it's easy for me to load it up in my vehicle. Got a gust of wind coming again. And I'm just playing with it. All right. Okay. All right, we'll just hold the stick down. Turns it off. Okay. So I'm going to, over here, I'm going to flip the switch down to manual. All right, and we're going to fly this in manual mode now. All right, sticks out. Right here. All right, so we're going to be in manual mode now. And it makes that noise because it's the sound coming off the mat, but it's because the blades are in negative pitch mode. All right, so here we are in manual mode, and I'm in high rates. That wind is blowing. It's now drifting because the wind's blowing it. All right, let's bring this in nose in. We'll handle that gust of wind. All right. Let's see what she can do. This is manual mode. This handle's really nice. Yeah, you have to still stay on top of it in manual mode. And that wind is, I mean, we have like between 15 and 18 mile an hour gusts right now. But it's handling it just fine. Oh, this is a lot of fun to fly. We'll bring it in low. Nice and slow. All right, so I'm gonna flip this back into auto GPS mode, and we're gonna do a return to home. All right. So I'm gonna flip this to return to home. All right, so now it's doing a return to home, so I don't have no control over it. Let's see what it does. Okay, so the return to home function, that's nice. Okay, so let's try some of these, a couple of these other little tricks here. All right, so we have it still in GPS mode. I want to try the figure 8 and then the turn around a point or the circle. All right, so we're gonna put it here. It's back in GPS mode. We're gonna take it off. I'm gonna get some altitude. Come over here, and I'm gonna flip it and say, all right, do figure 8. All right, so now it's gonna do a figure 8. All right, that's kind of cool. Let's see. All right, I have control now. All I did to get control was I just moved the stick. All right, so let me bring it back closer to us. All right, now I'm going to say, all right, let's do the turn around a point or the circle. All right, I'll flip it. All right, turn around a point, do a circle. If my understanding, it's going to do it with his nose. There, yeah. All right, it's going to go left ways. That'd be cool if you had like a little camera or something you can put on the end of it. Now the battery is supposed to get like 12 minutes of flight time. Yeah, it's doing really good. I'm really impressed with this little helicopter. All right, so I'm gonna grab control of it again. All right, my controls. This is a fun little helicopter. All right, let's bring it in for a landing. We'll do a nose-in landing. Okay. Well, that's it for the Yu Xiang MD500, the little bird. Let's see what we have for. Yeah, we still have looks like about 50%. We've got two little lights here. Yeah, we have plenty of battery left. So yeah, this is a really nice little helicopter. Okay, I just got back from the field and just want to give you a quick rundown on my thoughts of this really nice little helicopter. It has a really nice flight time with the one battery. I didn't time it, but they claimed 12 minutes flight time. I'm pretty certain that I exceeded that. There's a light, and I'm certain you saw it in the video. There's a light that comes out. It's right here. It tells you when you're getting ready to getting close. It starts blinking at you. So if you see it blinking, it's time. I think what happens is that if your battery gets discharged too low, it does a return to home mode. I didn't hit that level, but I'm pretty certain that I was close. The little figurines that were included with this kit, they really did add to it. I don't think you can see them in here, but they're in here. And whenever I was flying in and nose into me, I could see them. And I like the pilots. They're really nice. So kudos to you, Stirlingkit, for including these little pilots, these figurines in here. I really like it. The level of detail in this fuselage is really nice. I like the rivets. They really pop, especially when you're flying it and the sun's hitting it. And I'm hoping you're able to see it in the video of how nice this kit is in real life. For it to be a ready-to-fly kit, the mechanics are real nice. You know, I tried to get it, you know, into an eye-level hover for me because I wanted to see how well the blades tracked. You know, see if there's any kind of vibration. It's really well set up, and that's that says a lot, because flying helis, especially when you're building them and putting them together, that setup, that final setup, is going to make or break that heli. And this one is, they set it up right. I'm impressed. I really like this helicopter. It's one thing that, not to be snobbish, but when they say manual mode, it's still stabilized, but truthfully, a helicopter this size, you need that stabilization, because they're quick. They can get out of, they can get out of sight really fast, and you can lose that orientation. Especially if you're a new RC heli pilot, they can get away from you, and to be able to have that stabilization, and I think you can see in that video, it was really gusty out there with me today, and so when I put it in manual mode, I would just kind of let it go, and that wind would just start drifting it away. So I really did appreciate that, and it actually added to the fun of flying this helicopter. I'm going to enjoy flying this. I really like it. It's nice to have in my collection. I'm going to leave a link below in the description on where you can pick this awesome little kit up from Stirlingkit. So yeah, the Yu Xiang Little Bird attack helicopter. This is the Metropolitan Police of Las Vegas paint scheme is what this one is. And it made it really easy to see flying around. I really do like the paint. So yeah, I really like it. So it's nice. So yeah, I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.